Good afternoon and welcome to the TCPalm editorial board meeting to interview candidates in the election for Sebastian City Council. This is the first of 3 meetings we're having today. We have only one candidate with us today, that's Frederick Jones. We did invite Damian Lee Fay Gilliams, and he just a few minutes ago let us know he could not attend. I'm Larry Reisman. I'm the columnist and community editor for TCPalm and the Press Journal, and I'm joined by fellow editorial board members Adam Neal, our editor and news director, Blake Fontenay, columnist, and Louise Philippine, who is a reader advisory board member. We may have others join us as the meeting goes on. Special thanks to Mr. Jones for meeting with us today and streamlining this process by completing a questionnaire ahead of time. Our board members have reviewed them, and Mr. Jones in particular. The questions can be found at tcpalm.com/elections or tcpalm.com/opinion. At the conclusion of this interview, editorial board members will discuss possibly writing an editorial to recommend a candidate in this race. I'll lead the questioning and open it up to other editorial board members at the end. We might end up having more of a conversation than just a simple Q&A, and we'll probably be done within a half an hour due to the nature of the interview. And as we noted off air, because of our time constraints, we ask that Mr. Jones keep his answers concise, but that shouldn't be a problem today. But anyway, we'll get started off with the questions right away. It's rare that we get to do one-on-ones, but so this will be kind of fun, I think. So, Mr. Jones, can you give us one example of what you have done in the past year that shows you are doing more than just talk about helping the Indian River Lagoon?
I participated in Earth Day celebration down at the park. During that time, I actually participated in helping to install oyster mats along our piers down at Riverview Park. I've actually participated in cleanups along the Indian River Lagoon with Treasure Coast. I forget their names off the top of my head. But Coastal Connections as well, actually picking up trash along our riverfront. We picked up pounds and pounds of garbage along our riverfront, which includes plastics and things of that nature. So those things really go to, by cleaning up those things, that actually helps our lagoon. So we're very proud, my wife and I are very proud to participate in those events to help keep our lagoon clean. So.
All right, I appreciate that. Next question would be, what's the best solution to keep waterways free from toxic chemicals, but also to control aquatic weeds?
Well, here in Sebastian, we've actually our council approved a integrated pest management plan for our stormwater conveyance system. And we try to use mostly manual, but there are some chemical use, but we try to limit the chemical use. And our integrated pest management plan, that's available because at the city, we've actually approved that and it's actually gone into play. So that plan would actually, it goes a long way as far as keeping our waterways clean and preventing a lot of toxic materials and chemicals from going into our Indian River Lagoon. And actually, Sebastian, we've actually installed baffle boxes along the riverfront, which helps decrease the amount of pollutants that actually go into our Indian River Lagoon. And our section here in Sebastian, the report that came out from the Marine Resources Council shows that we're a C now. They're an F above us in Brevard County, and there's a D below us. So we're doing our part, but we can only do so much here. We have to depend on everybody along the Indian River Lagoon to actually help to prevent our lagoon from being contaminated with water runoffs and pollutants that go into the Indian River Lagoon. So Sebastian is leading the way as far as making sure our portion of the lagoon is clean and healthy.
Okay. One other issue that's come up over the last couple of years, I hear a lot of people talk about it, is so many people moved to and love Sebastian because of its small town feel. There's been a lot of proposed development. In the past, there's been talk of annexations, big annexations. Can you talk about how the city should keep that small town feeling, or do you think that's even possible?
Well, with all the growth across the country now, and particularly here on the East Coast, there's a lot of people moving from other places here. And we're doing our best to keep the growth down. We can't prevent growth. I mean, growth is going to happen. But what we can do is limit the growth. So, for example, if property is within the city, our density is 4 to 5 units per acre. Other, county and other places may not have that same density. So we're going to try to keep the density down. The growth is coming. There's homes going in. There's lots cleared all in my neighborhood, all over Sebastian, all along the Treasure Coast. So there's a lot of building that's going on, but we can actually help that like we're doing here by preventing by keeping the density down within our city limits. Now, there's property that borders our city that has been approved already. There's a lot of homes and businesses being built. There's one section that's at the southwestern corner of 510 and 66th Avenue. There's 900 plus homes going in there. That's not in the city of Sebastian, and we have no control over that. But those things, everyone is going to be using our facilities and roads and everything here in Sebastian. I can't see them going anywhere else. And we have no control over that part. But what happens in the city, we can actually control that with the density of 4 to 5 units per acre. So, and that's what we're going to try to do. And we're actually limiting the actual height along the riverfront. So we have a 30-foot height limit. So.
Okay. As we talk about growth, as you look at possible annexations, which I guess would be the way that you could control that growth, what metrics will you use to determine whether those future annexations are in the best interest of city taxpayers?
Well, we definitely need public input. I will not sign off on anything that has not had public input, and everything that we do is open. People can get the information. So my thing is, if we're going to have annexed property, we need citizen input. So if nobody tells us differently that they don't want an annexation project, that means they approve of whatever we decide to do as a council and as a city. So if people don't want it, they need to come and let us know, and not wait till things have already been done and then come in and say, hey, you guys never published this. It's not, the public didn't know about this. Everything that we do is in the sunshine. So people want to know when projects come up, they're going to be there. If they don't like it, or if they do like it, please come to council and let us know. Give us your opinion on that, because I prefer public input. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for Fred Jones. I'm here for the people of Sebastian. So if the people of Sebastian say they don't want something, let us know. If you want something, let us know, and I'm there for you. So I don't have any special interests or anything. My only interest is Sebastian itself. So, and the beauty of it, to maintain that beauty. So.
Okay. So let's go back to July for a minute. There was a proposal from staff on the July 14th council agenda to give COVID-19 bonuses to all employees, including the city's charter officers. Did that surprise you? And do you think that matter should be revisited, or is it pretty much in the books now?
No, that matter will be revisited, and we need public input on that. And that's what I spoke about. We need public input. I don't want to sign, vote for something that the public hasn't had the ability to let us know what their concerns are. So we're going to have public workshops on that in the future, hopefully. That money is there. It's from the federal government. So if we can improve our businesses, roads, everything here in the city of Sebastian by using those funds, please, during the workshops, everybody come out, give us your opinion, talk about it, tell us your concerns before we actually vote on it, because I won't vote on something like that unless the public's had the ability to put their input. So.
Okay. Speaking of that, let's talk about transparency and being open. What does that word transparency mean to you? It seems like everybody has a different opinion sometimes.
Well, I don't, transparency and being open government is like everything that we do is there for the public. It's open. There's nothing that I know of that's being hidden from anybody when it comes to this city government. So we post everything online. We send out notifications. Things are there. So if people don't know what's going on, that means they haven't looked to see the information on our city website. So we're actually putting the information out there for the public to see. And it's actually, and everything that's public record is here. Someone can come down to City Hall and request information on that. Nothing is going to be hidden. And if, and I won't stand for anything being hidden from the public. So everything has to be open. So, and I'm all for that.
Okay. All right. Just a question here. Two questions and one question.
No.
What do you think the city's strength is? The first question of this part is, what do you think the city's strength is? And then conversely, what do you think its biggest weakness is?
Well, the biggest strength is that we have a great staff here. Everybody works well together. Our city council now actually really works well together. We have our disagreements about things, but we do it in a civil way as far as the city council is concerned. We have, like I said, we have great staff here. They're all willing. I spend a lot of time at City Hall, and I learn everything that I can. I've only been in this a year now, but I'm learning, and I am willing to continue to learn. And this is why I put the time in here at City Hall. I study everything. I talk to people, and we have a great staff. So our strength is our staff and our leadership here at City Hall and the City Council. As far as any weaknesses, Larry, I don't know of any necessary weaknesses. I think there was one thing that that concerned me is the competitive pay as far as our employees, and I pushed for a competitive pay study to be done along with the city manager. So that's being done. So we'll see how that plays out. But I don't want to lose good employees for $1 or 50 cents more at another city or another agency or something like that, because we have great employees, and I think we need to do everything that we can to keep them. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of other cities and a lot of other organizations probably go through the same thing. I know I experienced that during my career with the Highway Patrol, where the pay compression was totally out of line, and there was nothing really they could do because it was ran by the legislature. And, you raise up the younger guys and girls that are coming on, you got new people making the same salary as someone that's been there 10 or 15 years. How do we make, how do you think people feel? I've been in that position. So this is why I pushed for this competitive pay study to be done. And we're going to move forward with that. And hopefully, as far as anything being weak, I think maybe that may be something, but it still comes down to dollars and cents, though. We have to pay for it. If we raise up salaries, we're going to have to pay for it somehow. And, we were just able now to go the rollback, but in the future, people want us to continue to keep taxes low. But at some point, there's going to come a time where taxes are going to have to be raised because money has to be put somewhere to pay for all these different programs. But, I don't look forward to making those decisions, but those decisions that I swore to do when I signed on, when I raised my right hand. So, but if there's something that we can do without raising taxes, I'm all for it. I'm all for limiting tax increases. But if we're going to get things done in this city, the city doesn't have a lot of money. Our total budget is around 50 million bucks. I know somebody else said 28.7, but that's not our total budget. But anybody that's in business or anybody that knows anything, if something is going to get done, if we're going to make improvements, sometimes we have to raise taxes. Like I said, I'm not looking forward to it. But in order to get our employees to where they need to be, and everybody's going to face this in the future here coming up with the federal minimum $15 an hour. So we want to get ahead of that curve and slowly move things up before it gets here. So we're working in that direction, and I think we can maintain the line where we are right now with keeping everything at rollback. So,
okay, just a philosophical question. Do you think that everybody should be paid the same in a certain job classification? So like all the police, all the patrolmen ought to be paid the same, or do you think it should be based on longevity or merit? Does
No.
merit have any role in that?
Yeah, absolutely. Longevity and merit. Just because you've been somewhere for a lot of years, or you could have been at a job 15 years, the same as I. But if I'm putting in the work and my work ethic shows, and with training and everything else, that I should get more. Absolutely, everybody shouldn't get paid the same just because you have the same tenure on a job. You have to work for that, earn everything that you get. So I believe in merit pay. So if someone's putting out the work and being there and going above and beyond, absolutely, they should be getting paid a little bit better than someone of the same time frame that just does barely enough to get by.
Okay. Switching the questions around a little bit, and then after this one, I'm going to open it up to the other board members. Can you give us an example of an ethical dilemma you might have faced at some point in your life? Can you talk about it briefly, and then talk about how did you decide what to do?
Ethical dilemma. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, you talking about in the past or recently, or?
No, in the past. I mean, any time in your life where you faced a tough question. Do I this? Do I do that? What's right? That kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've always been raised to do the right thing regardless of anything. So I think all the decisions that I've made were based on my upbringing, and I can't really recall something where I had to really sit back and think, is this the right decision or is this not the right decision? I think I just go with my gut and firm belief, and just make decisions based off of that. I really can't think of anything specific that I had an ethical decision about. So maybe I was just raised the right way, and I just try to do the right thing all the time. Do I make mistakes? Yes, I do. Have we all? Yes. But as far as ethical, I just do what I believe is the right thing to do, Larry, at all times. So.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't be more specific about a situation, but that's where I'm at. So.
No problem. Blake, Louise, Adam, any questions? Do you guys have any questions?
Well, I'll jump in. Mr. Jones, do you see any new initiatives on the horizon for Sebastian in the next couple of years that you're particularly excited about or concerned about?
Well, the one thing that I see that has always been on the horizon for me is the septic to sewer conversion. So, and I'm looking forward to the county received $50-something million from the state or the federal government to help us out with the septic to sewer within Indian River County. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully we can use some of that money to get people off of the septic system and onto a sanitary sewer system, particularly in our CRA district, and hopefully moving out into the other part of our city. I know we have it hookup ready on Rosen Road going to the new complex that we have going out there. So that opens the door for a lot more septic tanks along that portion of our city to come off of septic and onto sewer. And I believe hopefully that money that's come down recently, that's going to really help us. And hopefully the city can get some of those funds, and I'm pretty sure we are, to help us with our septic to sewer conversion. So that's what I do see on the horizon. That's what I really look forward to. Anything to protect our lagoon and the quality of life here in Sebastian, I'm all for it. So I look forward to those days that we can get that money to help us out with our septic to sewer conversion. So.
Blake, anything else? Adam, Louise?
Well, I'll throw in one more and then I'll be quiet. During campaign season, you hear a lot about candidates talking about, I'm going to come in and cut the budget. And, a lot of times there's not a lot of specifics that come with that promise. So I guess, do you see areas of the budget that could be cut? And if so, what are those areas specifically? Where do you think the city could cut back?
No, sir, I don't see that. Knowing the budget, we just went through the budget here. This budget was cut as thin as it can be cut to get us back to roll back to bring it to get a balanced budget. There's nothing else that can be cut from our budget right now. Our staff is doing a great job with the budget and holding the line so that we could get to roll back. So, I'm just hoping that we get some more money down the road. I know there's state monies out there that we've been waiting for years now since the storms. Hopefully some of those dollars can come in and help us so that we can actually do some more projects. And really the projects that we're doing, though, we're getting a lot of grants and stuff. People don't realize that some people come in and say, you guys are spending this much money here, but yeah, we have a 80-20 grant from the state, FDOT and other projects, that's going in to actually help us with a lot of the projects that we're doing, because the city just doesn't have the money to do a lot of those projects. But thanks to those state and federal grant monies that are coming in to help us move forward because this city is growing and we've got to keep up. Once you get behind, I've been in cities like that. There's no catch up. So if we can stay on top of it right now in the way we are, I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. But our city budget has been cut as far as it can. We've actually put projects on hold to actually make a balanced budget. So, but I think we're on the right path. We have a great CFO. Our city manager is doing a great job with the budget and all of his staff throughout the building. So. We're towing the line. So,
Adam, anybody else?
Yeah,
Louise?
And Mr. Jones, appreciate you being on here. It's kind of similar to what Blake was asking, but I'm going to ask him in a little bit different way. In the next few years here in Sebastian, what do you see as the biggest concern or biggest issue facing the city? And what are y'all doing, and especially you as a city council person, what would you do to help combat that, especially to get out early? Now, obviously, you mentioned the septic to sewer conversion, which is a big deal. Is there any other concerns for the city over the next few years that you see that the city council can get in front of right now?
No, sir, I don't see anything. I don't have, the projects that we're working on, the capital projects that we're working on, everything is in line and going great right now. Like I said, we've had to push some projects out to get the budget balance for this year to get back to rollback, but I really don't see anything in the future that I know of yet. But there are things that come up every month. It could be next week I could get something and we could sit down with the city manager individually, of course, not together. Because we have those communication, we communicate with each other all the time between the city manager and the staff. So, but on the other side of that, you get people that say that they're going to come in as far as city council people. You're going to come in and you're going to change this. You're going to do all of these things, and that's just not the way it works. It doesn't. We have a city manager form of government, and the city manager runs the city, the day-to-day operations, and we have oversight over that. But somebody is saying they're going to come in and change the way things are being done right now. That's very difficult from when you're actually sitting in the chair that we sit in. So there's some things that you'd like to get done, and the city manager and the staff are here for each one of us because we work for the people of Sebastian and they work for us. So of course they're going to listen to some of the things that we may see. I don't see anything right now except for me. Which is most important, the city septic to sewer and our drainage system throughout the city. But we're working on a stormwater master plan now to help bring everything back up so that people don't have to complain all the time. And I'm one of those that complain too, because my neighborhood is the same way. So, I live in this city and have been for the last 32 plus years. So there's some things that come up, and but all we have to do is talk to our city manager and our charter officers and make sure that say, hey, listen, here's my priority. And you let them know what your priority are so that they can start working on it. Because, my priorities are the citizens' priorities. So when I bring to them, it's what the people are telling me. When I get emails from from our constituents throughout the city, about things that are going on and things that we need to take care of. Take a look at this. So we do get things done. People may not see it, from the outside looking in, but when I get emails or phone calls from people throughout the city, I respond to them. And I'm at every single event that this city has since I've been elected. I've been at every single event and I participate, not just show up, but I actually participate because, I have the time and that's what I swore to do, to serve the people of Sebastian. And so I do that on a daily basis. So, I know what's going on the ground. I'm out there with people all the time that know what's going on. So when people bring issues to me, I go straight to the city manager and say, hey, have we looked at this? Can you take a look at this? And he responds immediately and he doesn't wait. He follows up and he makes sure those things are done. So, and that's what I like about our staff here completely. Everybody listens. And, I don't go to people barking orders going, I'm the city council, Fred Jones, get this done. I just don't do that. We sit down and we have conversations and things get done. And that's what I like about being here on the city council in Sebastian. So I'm sorry if I went around that question too much, but I tried to answer it directly, but.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Louise, anything? Adam, anything else? No. Okay. Well, anything else that we missed that you'd like to bring up?
No, I just want the people to know. When I swore to serve the city of Sebastian, I've served my entire life. Even from the time I was in junior high school, I served on I volunteered in my city when I was in junior high school growing up, and I went off and served my country in the United States Marine Corps. And then I came back from there. I served my state here as a highway patrolman for 31 years. So and now I'm serving the city of Sebastian. I believe in service. And, I wouldn't raise my hand. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't believe in what I was doing and wanted to do the right thing for my city. And this is why I'm here. And I believe in that. I have the time. I am now retired. So I have the time to invest in the city, and I want our city to continue to grow and be this beautiful, sustainable city that we are, and we are sustainable. We have a plan for the 2040 plan. We have planned out for this city. We are going to remain beautiful and sustainable for at least 2040 or 2050. And if people allow me to keep representing them, we will keep doing those things. So keeping our city beautiful. And, I work with every single county commissioner. I have known just about every one of them for a long period of time. It's not like building a new relationship. I have established relationship with people on the county commission for many years. It goes back years. So this is nothing new for me, for working with different people from different governments within our county, different cities. That goes from the top to the bottom, and I've always worked with everyone well, and I will continue to do that as long as the people of Sebastian elect me to continue doing that work, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Fred. So we appreciate your coming on today. Sorry it was only you, but that was good. It was good to get to know you a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
And again, thanks for everybody out there watching. The Sebastian City Council will have an election November 2nd. We've got 2 other videos that we'll have that are on and around. There's a questionnaire with a bunch of information about the candidates. So we thank again everybody for watching, and keep tuned to TCPalm for the latest news in Indian River County.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.